everyone, I have a scrapbook process to share with you today with the Thompson's Craft Supplies design team using April's Hello Spring Mixed Media Kit, although this layout is not very mixed media heavy at all, especially for one of my Friday videos. There is a tiny bit, but I just had this idea for using with these beautiful cocoa vanilla papers, and I just had to get it done, you know. It was in my brain, I needed to get it done. So it was all about that floral paper, which I cut off the branding strip, and I can't remember the name of it, but you can just see how beautiful that floral paper is. And I just needed to use as much of it as possible, but for using as a background paper, for my style anyways, it was just far too busy for that sort of thing. So I've chosen this paper here, which is sort of that mottled blue on the front and the rainbow brush stripe on the back, and then just ripped about halfway down, and then I'm sort of bending and folding those bits that come off there. Originally I was going to roll them, but that didn't look quite right, so I've just sort of pulled them and ripped them at the edges and things. It kind of almost looks like a shirt collar, I think, looking at it now. But yeah, so just pulling those down so you reveal that beautiful paper behind. So it's not, you're not putting your photo on top of that busyness and stuff, but you can see the beautiful paper behind that. So once I've ripped all that down, I've used my distress tool on the edges as well, where it was, you know, nice and straight cut edges, just to make everything look really distressed and stuff. And also around the ripped edges, I am going to add Distress Oxide in Chipped Sapphire. A lot of this Cocoa Vanilla collection is very much about pink and navy, so I'm sort of using that with other elements that I bring in as well. And that Chipped Sapphire, I'm going all around the layout with that as well. So I marked on that beautiful floral paper how far down I needed it to go, and I don't know why I'm measuring it there with the navy side, because I knew I wasn't going to use that. But anyways, I marked how far down I needed it to go, and then just cut off that bottom bit so I could use that for something else. And I'm just using some glue dots here just to keep down those ripped folded bits. I don't know what we're going to call those. I also added some more of that Distress Oxide on the edges of where they'd folded as well, just so they'd stand out a little bit in front of that really busy floral paper. And then I am just going to stick that down onto there, which I did not do perfectly, by the way, because look, I got a bit sticking out the side there, which I'm going to have to cut off. I'm not very good at sticking down big things onto other big things. I usually get that wrong. But yes, I kept, as I said, it's about 2/3 of the paper I think I've used for the backing there, so I have another bit to play around with. I think I used this paper in 4 different ways on this layout, I think, so very much using a paper to its full potential, or words to that effect. So I thought I would just cut a little strip here. I think it's about 3/4 of an inch, and just distress the edges of that and put the Chipped Sapphire Oxide around the edges as well, and just had that on the bottom there. I just thought it looked better like that. It looked more evenly spaced. It kind of closed the layout in a nice way. I don't know if that's making any sense. Anyways, here I'm going to back my photo. I've just pulled this blue paper from my stash. I was just going to back it straight with the floral, but that didn't look quite right, so I've just used the blue, and then I'm going to back it again with the floral there. The picture, by the way, is a picture of me and my dad, which I just love so much. It's from my graduation in, when did I graduate? 2015. I'm going to say, and we're just, I don't know, laughing at something, and my sister got this really great shot of us, and I just love it so much. And I printed it in black and white because I thought that would go really well to contrast against all this colour I'm using on this layout. So a little bit of mixed media here. I'm using the Lindy's Magical Shakers that comes in the kit. I think it's called Yodeling Yellow. And the Magical Shakers, just like brush-o powders, you tap your little powder onto your area and you activate it with water. I'm just using a dry brush just to kind of move the colour exactly where I want it, and then once I had it like that, I wanted some slight areas of slightly stronger pigment, so I just put a little bit more powder on there because it was already wet, it already activated, it just, yeah, it was a stronger pigment, as I said. So, and then using my brush to just move that around exactly where I want it to be. And then I think I left that one overnight to dry, and then I am going to start embellishing. So yes, these little title words, they came in the kit, and I didn't want beautiful days, I wanted beautiful day, just the one. So I have snipped that S off the edge of that day. And then here I'm just going to take my last little bit of that floral paper and fussy cut out some, like 2 floral clusters. It's quite difficult to fussy cut single flowers from this paper, but it's quite, you can do, as I said, clusters like that. So I'm just going to cut those out and I'm going to pop those behind my photo. And that's, I think, was that the fourth way I use this paper? Yes. So backing on the layout, backing the photo, the strip at the bottom, and the fussy cutting for embellishments. Many, many uses for one little paper. So those, yes, behind the photo there, I thought I'd put my title up at the top. There, originally I was going to have it below the photo, but then I realised I didn't really have enough room for that, and I thought it would look quite nice up the top there. Draw your attention after looking at the photo up to the top to that beautiful floral area. I think I've used the phrase beautiful floral too many times in this video. Anyways, around those floral fussy cut pieces again with the chipped sapphire, just so there's a nice uniformity going on with those colours, and then I'm just going to pop those down with some tacky glue. And I think once I've glued those down, I'm also going to go around the title with Distress Oxide, but because that is already navy, it would look not quite right if I went round it with the chipped sapphire, so I went round that with another oxide, and I did write down the name of the colour. Oh, picked raspberry. Oh, except I'm not doing that yet. I'm way ahead of myself. Sorry about that. I'm going to raise my photo up a little bit just on some foam. I added some double-sided tape there. I put down just a little square of cheesecloth onto that. Again, that comes in the kit. And that stuck nicely to the double-sided tape. But then I put tacky glue on top of that, so the picture had something to stick to on top of the cheesecloth, and then put the whole lot down like that. And as you see, whapped something heavy on it just to keep it down for a few minutes. And here I am doing that thing I said I was going to do, adding the picked raspberry Distress Oxide around the beautiful and the day part of the titles again, so it stands out, and it just, yeah, it just looks nice when if you start going around the edges of one thing on a layout, it looks better if you then go around the edges of all of the things. I think, personally, anyways. It doesn't always call for it, but this was one of those times when it definitely called for it. Anyways, yes, title put down there. I just decided to add a little bit of embellishment on top of the photo, just with these little bits and pieces. Again, these come in April's kit. I just thought it would look cute just to put some little bits and bobs in there. And there is some negative space on that photo, so I could frame us, the people in the photo, a little bit better. Here I'm going to add some of these really, really pretty glitter enamel dots. Again, these are from the kit, and the colours just go oh so pretty and beautiful, and yes, make me very happy. I really love these. They're Doodlebug, I think, the glitter enamel dots, at least these ones are. So it's just popping those down, making sure I've got a nice mix of colour. And then I decided I needed some tiny words and quotes on there, because that's just what I need on my layout. So picking a few phrases from the Tim Holtz Small Talk pack, and I'm having 3 on each side. I think it's 2 quotes or phrases on each side, but 2 of them are longer ones that I've just snipped in half, so it just looks a bit better with 3s, you know. And then, oh, I'm just adding some more oxide around the edge at the top, because I realised I hadn't done that and it didn't look quite right without it. Then some splatters. Now here I'm adding the Distress Spray Stain in Picket Fence, and the thing about this white Picket Fence one is on some papers and some layouts it just soaks in and you can't see the white, so all that white I've done you can't actually see. I could have gone and watered down some gesso and done that, but I just decided not to. Instead, I decided pink splatters would look better anyway, so using Distress Oxide Spray in Picked Raspberry. But yes, that thing with the Picket Fence, it's just sometimes it works better if your thing is gessoed, basically, otherwise it tends to soak in. I am aware of that, just sometimes I forget before I use it. So instead of having white splatters, I decided to go for white Nouveau drops, so these are just the gloss white ones, and having, again, that same splattery effect of things coming out from the photo, but just with drops instead of splatters. So I think that is the last thing that I do to this photo, so thank you so much, as always, for watching. Links to the kit, to Thompson's Craft Supplies, to my corresponding blog post, to all the products used, will be in the description box. If there's anything that I've used that isn't directly linked in the description box, it's because I have it involved on my Amazon storefront. So something like the Picket Fence, I think because it's in my storefront, I don't want to link it twice, kind of thing. But anyways, time for me to shut up now. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments. I'm now going. Thank you so much again. Bye bye!